The immigration landscape in the United States of America has changed under the Donald Trump administration. A lot of people who hold green cards or even citizenship think that they're completely safe because forever, all you've ever had to do was just stay out of trouble, stay out the way, be a law-abiding, tax-paying citizen, and you'll be all right. Well, now there's more to it. It has been proven that people who did exactly that have found themselves caught up, even deported. So it is important that we spread this information, not just to ease the minds of our audience member and listeners who this might apply to, but to also keep everybody up to date with what is happening and to let people know how to avoid certain things. Shout out to Addie Arnados S. Valera. So, the dream of living permanently in the United States of America is realized by millions of immigrants who obtain lawful permanent residence status, more commonly known as a green card. Today, this one is about how green card holders can avoid deportation in this Trump's immigration crackdown. If this does not apply to you, leave the video alone. Don't leave your anti-immigration comments under the video. I will only erase them. Just go on about your business. However, now, like I said before, the dream of living permanently in the United States of America is realized by millions of immigrants who lawfully obtained permanent residence. They didn't cross the border illegally. They lawfully obtained their permanent resident status, more commonly known as a green card. However, this status, while conferring many rights, does not make one immune from deportation. So, increasingly, green card holders are finding themselves in legal limbo due to criminal convictions, due to immigration violations, or even administrative technicalities, it's called. Recent events have highlighted just how fragile that green card status can be. A Filipina green card holder returned from a short trip to the Philippines to visit her family, was detained by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, upon her arrival back to the U.S. She was held at the Mesa Verde ICE Processing Center in Bakersfield, California, and she is now facing potential deportation proceedings. You can go look it up. I gave you all the information just now for you to be able to Google her story and see. In another case, Joellen Dixon, who has lived in the U.S. as a permanent resident for 50 years or so, was detained by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, while returning home to Seattle, Washington from a trip to the Philippines. Their cases kind of underscore a critical fact. Here's the fact. A green card is not an unassailable right. I've always said this to my audience here on SouFLoTV. A green card is not a right. It's actually a privilege. And that privilege can be revoked under U.S. immigration laws. They actually reserve the right to be able to snatch that green card back from you without even an explanation as to why they took it back from you. So, my green card holders, you are in a fragile state, and now more than ever before, is super fragile. Now, living the American dream is possible with your green card because you can live, you can work, you can build a life in the United States, but you must also understand that the Immigration and Nationality Act, or the INA, actually has several grounds for deportation. These include, of course, crimes involving moral turpitude, aggravated felonies, drug offenses, immigration fraud, failure to maintain U.S. residency. Like some people get their green cards and then they start spending way too much time outside of the United States of America when your green card is actually meant for you. It's a trial period before getting citizenship. It is supposed to be for you to work, pay taxes, and establish a life in the United States of America and to show the American government that you want to be here more than anywhere else. It's not to be used as something of a convenience. Okay, I have my green card so I can access the US whenever I feel like it, but I'm just going to go chill in Jamaica for most of the year. You can lose it then. Failure to maintain US residency is what that's called. And other violations tied to national security. Now, this is where things get sticky. The other violations tied to national security part. It seems like we're getting into a time where even saying things about the current government can lead to you being classified as someone who does not deserve to be here. In other words, just like I've said before on previous videos, I would advise people with green cards to stay out of political debates because, it only takes one officer at the airport to say, hey, let me see your phone. A customs agent, you're coming back from some vacation, you're a green card holder. They decide they want to look into your phone, which they have the right to, and they do. And they go on any of your social medias and they see that you are just blasting your current president and you're just blasting American terms and policies. And they deem you someone who should not be here. You're anti-American. Suddenly you're labeled anti-American. These things are happening now. Or maybe you're saying, sympathizing with a certain group of people who are being oppressed in your eyes. And suddenly you are a sympathizer of terrorism. And you won't be allowed to remain with a green card. Now, that last part, violations tied to national security, that last part has been activated. And this is where people who haven't done any crime per se, have no criminal records, but their green cards are being revoked and they're being deported. Now, often these offenses are either misunderstood or underestimated by the green card holders themselves. You go about saying things, you don't think it'll cost you anything, you don't think you're committing a crime per se. Many green card holders are shocked to find that something they considered a minor issue could trigger grounds for a removal. In some cases, it could be one single drug possession charge. They caught you with a couple of baggies of weed, $4 or $5 bags of weed. It's your personal use. It happened 2 years ago. You thought, that's minor. I got past it. I'm still here with my green card. Staying too long abroad. Nothing wrong with me staying an extra couple of weeks. These can all trigger removal proceedings. But ICE doesn't operate on intent. It operates on statute. One key issue is abandonment of residency. Let's talk. One key issue is abandonment of residency. So green card holders, they're expected to maintain continuous ties to the US. If an individual spends significant time abroad, especially over a year, without a re-entry permit or failure to maintain US tax and residential obligations, they risk being deemed to have abandoned their status. Once they've decided that you have abandoned your status, it is fair game for you to be picked up or stopped at the airport. Now, in the case of green card holders who are detained in Bakersfield, ICE said that such concerns, in addition to prior legal infractions, were the grounds for their detention. To avoid such troubling scenarios, green card holders are advised to take preventative steps when traveling internationally. First, any green card holder who plans to be outside of the US for more than 6 months should consult an immigration attorney to assess the risks. If a trip will exceed a year, it is super, super important to apply for a re-entry permit. It's called a Form I-131 before your departure. This document signals an intent to return, and it helps in the argument that you have abandoned your status. When they accuse you of that, you will have that paperwork to say, no, I didn't abandon my status. I did an I-131 and I got permission. Shows that you are conscious of the fact that you needed to do this and you did. Now, second, green card holders with any prior criminal record, even minor offenses, even dismissed charges, should not travel abroad without first consulting an immigration attorney. Now, if you go and nothing happened, that's cool. However, things don't work out the same for everybody. So please don't go around telling people, please, I had a minor case going on and my charges were dismissed, or I had a minor offense and it got cleared up and it was a misdemeanor, but I still traveled no problem. For the person who hasn't traveled yet or has, please speak to an immigration attorney in these times. Things and times have changed. Who's ruling at the moment has changed. Even those with records that have been expunged or records that are decades old can trigger detention at a port of entry. ICE databases, the databases are comprehensive and they are unforgiving. They don't eliminate stuff, they hold everything. One must know the immigration consequences before you board an airplane. Now, if you know that you're about to board that airplane and there's a possibility that you might lose your status, not be allowed to re-enter, etc., or you'll be detained and have to fight in court as to why your green card will be taken away, then maybe it's wise to just not go in current climate. Crimes involving moral turpitude, aggravated felonies, drug-related offenses, those are the most common basis for removals. The courts have ruled that even a single conviction, depending on the timing and the severity of it, can be sufficient. Crimes of moral turpitude. Furthermore, convictions that are years or decades old can resurface when a green card holder re-enters the country. The 2010 Supreme Court decision in Padilla versus Kentucky, perfect example, emphasized that criminal defense attorneys must inform non-citizen clients about the immigration consequences of a plea. P-L-E-A, plea. Yet many immigrants who took plea deals prior to that ruling, they were never warned. Today, green card holders that are caught in that trap may still be able to seek remedies like cancellation of removal or waivers of inadmissibility if they act quickly and have skilled legal counsel. In other words, if you have a good or decent lawyer. In many cases, technicalities can help or harm a green card holder. The Supreme Court's ruling in Perea versus Sessions, that's another one, invalidated many notices to appear that lacked time and date information, creating new avenues for relief in deportation cases. Similarly, INS versus St. Cyr preserved the right to apply for relief under old laws in certain pleas or pre-1996 plea cases. Now, in light of the March 2025 ICE detention incident, immigration advocates stressed the importance of being proactive. Traveling abroad when you have unresolved legal issues in the US is a gamble. ICE is vigilant, and Customs and Border Patrol at airports now, they have access to consolidated immigration and criminal databases. So everything is at their fingertips. Nothing is going to slip through like before. Those detained still have rights. Green card holders can challenge the legal basis of their deportation. They can seek relief such as cancellation of removal, and they can appeal unfavorable decisions. It is essential to act promptly to secure legal representation and to present evidence of strong family ties, rehabilitation, and positive contributions to society. Ultimately, maintaining a permanent resident status requires vigilance. A green card is not just a pass, it is a contract with responsibilities on both sides. Knowing those responsibilities can be the difference between staying with your family or being sent away. Now, here are some practical tips for green card holders before traveling abroad. 1, consult a lawyer, an immigration lawyer. If you've ever been arrested, ever, if you've ever been charged, ever, or if you've ever been convicted, even if the case was dismissed or expunged. 2, avoid long absences from the US. Without a re-entry permit, trips over 1 year can lead to the abandonment findings, which could lead to your green card being revoked. 3, keep ties to the US. Keep ties to the US by doing things like filing your taxes, maintaining an address, and keeping a US bank account. 4, check the expiration date of your green card and apply for a renewal in advance. Don't wait till the last minute. Apply for a renewal ahead. And 5, carry evidence with you anywhere you go of these U.S. ties when you are traveling, like some tax return documents. Tuck those somewhere. Some pay stubs. Tuck those somewhere. Some utility bills or a lease agreement. Tuck those somewhere. These steps, along with some timely, large consultation, can help ensure that your return to the U.S. is smooth and uneventful. Uneventful meaning so your behind won't be caught up at the airport saying prayers. Oh God, please let this work for me. Please don't let them take away my papers. Now, as more cases like the recent ICE detention comes to light, green card holders must remain vigilant and informed. A mistake at the airport or years earlier should not cost someone their home and their family and their future, but apparently it can. Unless you know your rights, of course, and exercise them. Again, shout out to attorney Arnado S. Valera. Attorney Arnado S. Valera is the executive director of the Global Migrant Heritage Foundation and managing attorney at Valera and Associates. And thank you. He is a professor at San Beda Graduate School of Law, and he compiled this piece of work with useful information for green card holders so that green card holders can avoid deportation during this Trump immigration crackdown. And again, for those who are so anti-immigrant that you're about to leave comments about illegals on this comment section, please save yourself the time because I will definitely remove your comment. This video is not about illegals. It's not about people sneaking across the border. It is about people who have legal residence in the United States of America, but still can be caught up in the system. Leave your comments in the comment section below. I'll catch you on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.